quarter-finals. A big shock, Breaffy being taken out by Clare Morris, and Hollymount Carramore must play Ballintubber again to see who gets the semi-final place there. But today it's about the minor teams of Westport and Balla and the junior teams of Lahardane, McHale's and Kilmaine. And our first game is the minor final. I'm joined by, he's not actually that tall, it's a trick of the lights, but we couldn't get anywhere else, Jerry Costello from Balla. You've won a minor title, Jerry, 1989. I remember that team very well. Ronan Golding, Gareth Golding, lots of guys like that on it. Westport have never won one, actually. You have won up in that regard.
Yeah, that was a fantastic team of 89. That was the team that actually came forward to play in the county final here in 93 and win the league in 94. You had the Goldens, you had the Sherdens. You had a real, it was just an era that went through where we had some fine footballers that came through.
Yes, and you have a good crop again now at the moment too.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what we have at the moment. I actually, myself and Noel Early manage them at under 15, under 16 levels, and they're a real determined and talented bunch of guys.
Okay, Kevin, Westport haven't won a minor A title, but have knocked on a lot of doors underage the last few years and won a lot of titles. Not to in school level with Rice College, of course, and also your adult win in Croke Park this year, the All-Ireland Intermediate title. But it would be very important, I think, for Westport to add a minor title. It's something that's missing in your trophy cabinet, and you are racking up titles now.
Absolutely, Liam. You know, it's we've with all the success we've had the last few years at underage in our club. It's a great achievement to be here today in a County A final. You know, as you said, we've never won one before. I think the last time, looking back in the programme there today, is 1973 is the last appearance we had in a County A final. So, you know, it just shows the amount of barren years we've had at that level. So it's very encouraging today. Hopefully we can get a performance and see some of the fruits of our underage coaching facilities that we have in the club come through, and hopefully move on into senior level.
Okay, and you had, of course, the reprieve last night at senior level. You were in a relegation battle with Ballinroe, but you saved the final of that one anyway.
Yeah, we did, thankfully. I suppose our aim this year was to stay safe at senior grade because, you know, with all the injuries I suppose we had, and after winning the All-Ireland and stuff and different things and change of management and stuff, it would be very easy maybe to slip away and get relegated again. And after all the hard work we put in over the last 12 months to 18 months, it's going to be a lot of work wasted. So, thankfully we pulled off a good victory over Ballinroe last night, and we're looking forward to building on that maybe next year again.
Okay, disappointment for Balla last weekend here, Jerry. Junior team narrowly beaten in the final last year by Burke. A lot of people tipping you to get to at least the final this year, but comfortably beaten, I suppose, last weekend by a very impressive Lahardane McHale's.
Yeah, we can have no complaints at all after last weekend because we first half we had a gale force wind behind us, and we just couldn't get our hands on the ball. The Lahardane game plan was fantastic. They went in at half time 5 points to 3 up, and the writing was certainly on the wall. We started the second half pretty well, put a few scores on the board, but unfortunately gave away one or two soft goals, and they were the better team on the day, and we have no complaints.
Okay, we're going to take a quick panorama view around McHale Park to see what's happening here. People begin to arrive in. The junior final, of course, later on, as we said, and it's a beautiful day for football. It was greasy here last night, but Kevin, it's a fresh day for football, isn't it?
Sure is, Liam. You know, it's we're blessed actually with the day we've had, with the weather we've had the last few weeks. It's encouraging to see a bit of good weather and hopefully for a good game of football, and two very good minor teams going at it, both evenly matched, both physically and athletically. So please God, we get a good game of football today, and hopefully the blue and navy Westport will be coming out on the victorious side.
Tom Carney is back from the dressing room area. I hope you have some news for us, Tom, if you want to come in here a second.
Yes, thanks, Liam. The Balla team will line out as selected in the programme. In Westport they have two changes. Stephen Lostas is suspended at full forward, so coming in for him is James Tracy, and Peter Carty drops to the bench. The number 2 and number 18 Luke O'Reen will come in for him. Otherwise, as we said, Balla line out as selected. Conditions are very good today. The pitch is looking well after the game last night as well. It's had a lot of matches on it over the last few weekends, but the ground staff were out after the game last night with their forks putting in any divots, so the players should find it fairly good, and the sun is starting to shine here as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Two changes, Kevin. How do you feel that's going to impact on the Westport team? Can you give us a rundown on the changes?
Yeah, look, again, it's an opportunity for guys, whoever's stepping in. Obviously, Stephen there, Loftus is suspended. Unfortunately, he came out the wrong side of a red card in the semi-finals. So obviously, he'd be a big loss, for his physicality and his ball-winning ability. But again, like the guys that are stepping in there, it's a county final. It's a great opportunity, a day to make a statement and get your name out there, I suppose. And it's just give it all and make the most of it, I suppose.
Okay, we've asked Jerry to sit down. I think it might be a nicer view, Jerry. What's that film where your man is too tall for the screen? Hightower, is it? He walks out of the screen. You were gone very tall there. You're feeling with the team that's selected, Jerry?
We're going as selected. I'd be pretty confident today. There hasn't been an awful lot between those two teams going down the years from under 15 upwards. And I think if we can hold our own around the middle of the field, where Killian Golden, Mayo Minor of this year, and Shea Benson, if they can get hands on enough ball, I think our inside forward line, especially Arden Welch and Jack Hart, can cause problems with the Westport defence.
Yeah, Jack Hart has junior experience, of course, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. As I was saying to the boys earlier, he's one of my favourite young footballers because he has a wonderful first touch, and he's very hard to mark. And from the cornerback point of view, definitely Jack will give a bit of trouble.
Okay, Kevin, people will be interested to hear about your own recovery. We talked about it a bit earlier on Facebook Live, but 8 months on, you're back running and hoping to have a good cut of 2018.
Please God, Liam. Yeah, as you said, I've 8 months on now and back running the last few weeks. So again, it's all positive and encouraging so far. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months now, January is my target, obviously, to get back into competitive football, and hopefully my progress is still continuing to improve, and I'm feeling strong and feeling healthy, and the knee hasn't given me any bother since, so long may that continue, and please God, start off 2018, might be a bit rusty, but no doubt I'll get there eventually.
On mature reflection, a great day in Croke Park last February, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a absolutely brilliant day for the club. Something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. You know, it's the best achievement ever. To win an All-Ireland with your county would be absolutely amazing. But to win it with your club, it's just something unthinkable. Something I've always dreamt of. Never thought it'd actually come to fruition. But to see your family there, and your parents and your mother and father crying, and just having your friends and people around your community there, it's a special day, and especially of the club, and hopefully now we can start building on our success at senior level and from our underage level the next few years, and hopefully no more than the guys here last night compete for the Moncler Cup in a few years.
In fairness to you made it good and dramatic in Croke Park, didn't you?
We did, I suppose. Yeah, we never made things easy for ourselves, I suppose, Liam. Even all year, the semi-final against Kilmaine, we went right down to the wire, to extra time, I suppose. But again, look, that just showed the character of our team. We said all year we were going to be different, and that was a motto, I suppose, we built our success on, that we were going to be different. We were going to be the difference team from a Westport club that has seen before, and we never made it easy for ourselves, but again, that added to the excitement too. Yeah,
I saw a lot of your games last year. There was always something. There would always be a few missed chances here or there, or the late goal against the Meath team. Yeah, always a bit of excitement.
Yeah, exactly. And look, we that's the way games go, and it goes in ebbs and flows. But you look at the semi-finals; it took a score from Brian McDermott and Shane Scott to pull us out of the bag, and even a penalty in that game as well by Shane Scott. So, and then you had myself going off in the final, and Brian O'Malley stepping into full back at 18 years of age, a leaving cert, and playing one of the best games I've ever seen him play. And even the likes of, we had 4 leaving certs that day, and to stand up the way they did and flourish on the surface of Croke Park was a joy to watch, and I'm proud of them and proud of the team, and as I said, it was just a monumental day.
With an eye on today, Jerry, that finals for you. Players come out of the blue, step up, reach a level people never expected before.
Well, absolutely, and as I said, it's great to see Kevin back. I mean, he has gone through the horrors for the last year, and little did any of us think, I think, in that day in Croke Park when he was stretched off, that it was going to be one of those injuries was going to keep the guy out of football for a year. But no, as I said, on the big day, small things, there might be a guy sitting at number 22 or 23 for Balla Westport at the moment, and all of a sudden he could be out there in the middle of McHale Park, and it could happen for him. And that's the great thing about sport, and certainly it's the great thing about finals.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be expecting the teams out in the field any moment. The county board officials are down there getting ready to welcome them. Some of the match officials coming out as well. As I said, a beautiful day here. If you happen to be nearby McHale Park, why not drop in and have a look? It's going to be a lovely day for football, Kevin, it seems. We had a bit of rain earlier on, but I think it's in the clear now.
Thankfully, yeah.
Or is that fateful talk?
Well, I hope not. Don't jinx it. But in fairness, the last while we've had pretty poor weather, so we'll take a bit of good weather and a dry ball today, and hopefully looking forward to a good game of football.
People watching around the world, Jerry, I'm sure there's plenty of that.
Oh, there'll be London, Australia, wherever. It's a big deal. I mean, it just shows you, we're talking about Westport winning the All-Ireland club title, and even last night there was I was at mass last night, and the local PP, Father Kearney, was wishing the boys luck, and like there was 3 or 4 of them there, and like it just shows you what it means to the parish, what it means to the local people.
Yeah, there they are, first out are Westport in their distinctive sky blue. And they're, of course, Paul Grady's in the management team there, a former You're replacing him as well too. You're following Mickey Conroy last night, and you have Paul Grady was our analyst throughout Westport's run last year, joined by Martin Calvey, Phil McGinty, Pat Conway, Pádraig Hughes and Martin Mulvaney in their Westport management team. They're out there. I see Conor McKeown, a Westport photographer there as well. A big day for him, seeing his own club. They faced the wrong way in the bench, Kevin. I hope that's not an omen.
Hopefully not, Liam. Yeah, it'll be interesting. As you said there, touched on the guys that are over the team. A lot of experience there, a lot of good guys, done a lot of good work over the last few years at the underage level at Westport. And even for their own careers at Westport, they gave great service to the club. And you have Martin Conway, Pat Conway and them boys still there, and they're still involved at the junior level in the club, and it's great to see them giving up their time, and we're hopefully seeing the fluidity of that today with Westport, and hopefully, as said, the boys will lead them to victory. They've already led them to a West Mayo title, so hopefully they can lead them to a County A title today.
Yeah, that's it. Westport out in the field. Tough day for the full forward Stephen Loftus, who's out through suspension. Missing a final is just really, really difficult on a player.
Yeah, it is tough. I suppose I can feel his pain from a certain degree, but again, he'd be a big loss to Westport, obviously, for his ball winning ability and his physicality there, and just the way he brings players into the game alone would be a huge loss for Westport. But again, like the guys that are replacing him there and stepping in, it's an opportunity for them, as they always say, and Jerry highlighted there, number 22, number 23 today could have a big say in these proceedings today, and it's a good day to go out and make a name for yourself, and try and play the best you can and represent your club at the highest level.
Okay, Balla are out now as well. They're getting their photograph taken. They have a big squad, and their management team includes Conor Welch, of course, who played with the Balla junior team last weekend, Sean Burke, John Conway and physio Michael Moran. Good to see a young man like Conor taking on the team while he's already busy playing his own football.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic that both Conor and Sean are still playing actively for the club. But Conor is a fantastic guy. It's a fantastic way with young guys, and they look up to him and they respect him. And John Conway has the bit of experience there in the management team. And of course, as I said, Michael Moran, the man with the magic hands to keep them all going for 60 minutes, we hope.
It's going to be 60 minutes. If you've just joined us, we have the junior final later on as well between Lahardane McHale's and Kilmaine. That's a south-north clash. This is all west in the minor final. We had two very interesting junior semi-finals here last weekend, as Jerry knows only too well. Lahardane McHale's played some superb football to beat Balla, and Kilmaine were convincing enough winners over Ballycastle. They had a little bit of a late scare when Ballycastle got the goal from a penalty, but they went up the field and got a goal themselves. Or sorry, the other way around. Kilmaine got the penalty, the other way around. Ballycastle just not able to take Kilmaine, who are hotly fancy for that junior title right throughout the year. I think it's fair to say Westport have been one of the fancy teams in this minor championship all year long as well, and they've delivered on that by being here today. But as Kevin more or less said, there's getting to a final and there's winning a final. They're two very different beasts.
Very different, Liam. You said it there. It's while we've had all the success and we've got to this stage, it's about finishing the job now. There's no solace in being a runner-up. It's all about winning at the end of the day, and getting to these days, small margins can define big games, and no doubt it'll be the same today. And big players stand up on days like today, and as we were highlighting earlier, lads that come in could have a big say in this game too, and proceedings how they fare out. So I'm just looking down there now. Pat Lambert's on the ball. Mayo Minor this year. Mayo under 17s, absolutely brilliant footballer, and leading the way there as captain of the Westport team, and I'm looking forward to seeing him flourish today and bringing other lads along with him there. Rory Brickenden there, Alan McHale centre back, strong unit all year, playing absolutely brilliant football, and even Ken McGuire there in the corner, tough, tenacious corner back, the typical, I suppose, tough teak that no corner forward ever wants to come up against.
Yeah, they're the ones you don't want, all right. Yeah, we had one of those last night here. Stephen Brennan from Claremorris was there last night, and he was very difficult. I see Mark Higgins from the Western People there, and Ger Flanagan, who played here last weekend for Balla, Ger of the Mayo News. He's going to chat to those two guys for a second. Close followers of the club football scene here in Mayo. Ger, we'll just get you up there, and Mark as well. We'll start with you first of all, Mark. As I said, both of you are keen students of the game in Mayo. How do you see this minor final going?
It's hard to know. I mean, Westport have been the dominant club really in underage football for Mayo the last 4 or 5 years, and this kind of group sort of come through. They've been winning underage titles at under 14 and under 16, and they'd probably be the favourites here today. I wouldn't know an awful lot about the Balla team, to be honest with you. I know Ger will probably be the man to talk to about these, but they look, just look at them there, they look a big, strong, physical team. I would be looking at Westport, to be honest with you, but hopefully it'll be a decent game, and these minor finals, like anything can happen in county finals, as you know yourself, Liam. So hopefully we'll see a good game.
Okay, Jerry, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no doubt Westport are the favourites. I saw both of these play actually earlier on in the summer in the summer league. Westport won that game. It was a tight game now right till the end. I think Westport got a couple of goals. Two good footballing teams, play football the right way. Balla starting 15 is strong. They wouldn't have a huge panel as compared to Westport, but there's some tidy footballers there. Jack Hart in corner forward played with us this year a couple of games. Aaron Wall, Shea Benson, Podge McLaughlin there as well, centre back. A good solid team all around. What I'd be hoping is that Balla can stick with them till the last 10-15 minutes and then get a goal or two or a couple of points at the end and finish off in the stretch.
Okay, thanks very much, lads. Mark Higgins, the Western People, and Gerard Flanagan of the Mayo News, just giving us their views as well, as we see both teams going through their warm-ups. Westport are in their huddle now as well, getting themselves right. I'm going to hand over to match commentator Tom Carney, who'll be joined by Kevin Kane and Jerry Costello. Tom.
Thank you, Liam, and welcome everyone to Elvery's McHale Park for this Minor A Championship final. JJ Burke, Renault Balla sponsored competition. Ball going for their first win since 1989, and Westport looking to get their maiden victory. The Westport team have won a few titles in the last year. Last year they were the A under-16 winners, so a lot of that team know how to win. They're involved currently, Kevin. There's a good squad of nucleus of good young players there.
There sure is, Tom. Yeah, we've the likes of Pat Lambert there, Rory Bricken and Alan McHale, Peter Carty. All these guys came through last year from the under-16 grade, and it's no fluke that these guys are representing Westport here in the Minor A final this year, and they're a talented bunch, and it's great to see them out here, and hopefully we can it'll be a victorious day once we get the good performance out of ourselves.
And Ball, Jerry, it's a familiar picture in McHale Park again. This is our fourth commentary, I think, throughout the last few months, and Balla getting a taste from McHale Park, to be fair.
Well, it's great for this minor team. They're a very good bunch of young guys who have worked well together all the way through, and there's been a lot of work put in by the club at underage level over the past 7 or 8 years, and this is the fruition of it. And I just hope that they can make a good start today and give a good account of themselves.
Both teams have topped their respective groups in the championship. Westport only played 2. There was a game conceded for them. In the league, in the group stage, they scored 9-27 and Ball scored 7-35. And in the semi-final, Ball defeated Park Kilos Criminal 2-9-12, and Westport had a good win over Claremorris, a tight win in a Claremorris team that are up and coming as well from South Mayo. So a 3-point win. So 11-40 Westport have scored coming into this final, and Park or Ball 9-44. So both teams know where the goal are. They know where the crossbar is. So we could be in for a treat of football as we see Mayo County Chairman Mike Kennelly going along the line doing shaking the hands of the officials as well as both teams. And there'll be no national anthem prior to this game, as it'll be before the junior final at 3 o'clock. And apologies for the phone call. It's being taken as we speak, but if you're around the world watching the game, then please by all means get in contact with us on our Twitter page at MayoGATV, on Facebook MayoGATV, and on our website at MayoGATV.com. So the players now just doing the respective handshake, wishing each other luck. Maybe not too much luck, but it's depending on how the mood is. But the sun is shining here at McHale Park. The sun may cause a problem for one of the goalkeepers in each half, depending how low we go. It's 1 o'clock here in Castlebar, throw in just moments away. The referee for this game is Sean Riley from the Neil, and we'll be underway shortly as the Ball players just shake hands with the officials, and hopefully everybody has a good game. The subs make their way to their position in the stand here at McHale Park. Both teams are coming into this, as we said, in a good bit of form. Claremorris were no easy game in the semi-final, Kevin, a game that you were at, and you were impressed with how resolute the Westport team were.
Yeah, absolutely. Claremorris really put it up to us. The thing with Westport the last while, they've made kind of games hard for themselves over the last few games, especially in the first half the last time against Claremorris. It was actually end-to-end stuff, ding-dong battle, and a lot of physicality around the pitch, and thankfully we got a goal, I think, in the second half by David Groden there, and that kind of just put a bit of breathing space between us. And but again, this Westport team, they've that never say die attitude, and I'm expecting nothing less today.
The supporters are still making their way in here to the stand at McHale Park. Sean Riley is making sure his watch is working and his pencil's working and he's a football at his feet. And Ball, again, it was a tight semi-final against Park there, but they won by 3 points.
Yeah, it was a tight semi-final. It was actually a very good game for them because there was a few games this year that hadn't been really tested, but certainly the Park match was a very tight game. We got the goals, and as to say, goals win games, and hopefully we'll get a few early in this game.
And we're underway at McHale Park, and Ball won the throw-in, but the breaking ball was turned over by Westport, and there's a foul in the middle of the field going to be taken by number 12 Mark Moran, but he was impeded from taking it quickly, so Sean Riley brings it up the mandatory distance, and we're back underway. A good ball inside to centre forward Pat Lambert, the captain, played for Mayo and as well this year, and it's dropped short, but the clearance is poor by Niall Fadden, dropped straight into the hands of Luke Tunney, and in from goal now is Mark Moran, left footed, and it's a goal straight away from a poor clearance, you'd have to say, from the Ball goalkeeper. Maybe a bit of nerves in that, but clinically it's finished there by the Westport forward.
Yeah, very well finished there by Mark Moran, a younger brother of Colin Moran, so no doubt they know where the goals are in the Moran household.
I'd say he was well drilled when he got up this morning just to make sure he knew what he was doing. So a goal in the opening minute of the game here, and you can truly say this final is well on its way. So that time, kick out one well back out to Sean Turner on the far side in front of the media tower at McHale Park. Trying to break the tackle was Ryan Durkin, but swallowed up by the Westport defenders. Alan McHale brings it inside, but goes out to Owen McLaughlin. Couldn't quite get hold of the ball, and Ball come away on their first attack of the game and cross into the opening half of the field, trying to get something going is Niall Barrett, exchanging passes with Patrick McLaughlin. Long ball into the corner, looking for the corner forward on the left hand side. A great ball inside, but can't keep it. Slips out of his hand of Aaron Walsh. Manages to get it back at the second attempt, and he gives a hand pass inside. Well turned there by Jack Hart, who's quick and nimble, and he draws the foul, and he's fouled there by Luca O'Rian, who was a late replacement for Peter Carty, but a good response from Ball from the early setback of the goal, Jerry.
Yeah, the goal was a disaster for us because the ball had come in short from young Lambert, and Niall had got on the ball, and instead of looking up, he just seemed to be rushed into the clearance and laid on a great opportunity, which young Moran took very well.
Aaron Walsh taps that over for Ball's opening score of the game with 2 minutes gone here in the first half. Ball 1, Westport a goal. Kevin Lavelle opting to go along, trying to find Declan Shanahan, but that's broken well, and it's won in midfield by Shea Benson. And Ball can build again, and they're looking to take another opportunity here with Sean Tonra. And that's over the bar, and that's a great score, a turnover from the kick out, and 2 quick points from Ball.
Yeah, very well worked. Killian knocked the ball down there. Shea Benson laid off a nice hand pass into Sean Turner, and the finish was pretty clinical.
Short kick out from Westport. They were chased down by 4 Ball defenders, forwards, but they managed to get out, and there's a tackle. There's a coming together of players, but it's going to be a free for Westport just outside the 45, and Mark Moran goes back and almost got his midfielder into trouble, but they retain possession of the ball, and John Geraghty tries to get them going again, and it's turned over well hassled by the Ball defence, who are playing on the counter attack. They're defending with numbers and then are breaking at pace again into the live wire that is Jack Hart. Gives it back to Killian Golding, who again played from Ayr, slips underfoot as he delivers that ball, but it was a great diagonal pass, gets into the hand of Aaron Walsh. He's 1-on-1, he's trying to cut inside, trying to make the angle, but following up is Shane Foy, and that's a great goal for a Ball. And you'd have to say that came from a Westport turnover that shouldn't have happened. It was a stray hand pass, Kevin, and Ball were in on goal.
Yeah, I got caught straying here, I think, on the ball with Pat Lambert. He got bottled up, very little support coming around him, but again, very disappointed there. Full back line left isolated there, Kevin Maguire, and soft goal, and now Balla seem to have all the momentum.
Ball back on the attack, turnover from the short kick out again, and they're coming inside, and it's Jack Hart who's been causing all kinds of trouble in the opening few minutes. Feeds it over to Shane Foy, who finds himself in acres of space again, and he can tap that over the bar. And Jerry, you have to say, from conceding the goal in the first minute, Balla put 1-3 in the space of 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the goal, Killian Golding, beautiful diagonal ball to Arden Welsh, and Arden on their own and got it in, and I think it was Shane Foy to finish it off. But yeah, Jack Hart and Arden Welsh are causing major problems to the Westport defence at the moment.
A mark called for Shane Foy, who's been seeing a lot of the ball is on this left-hand side on between himself and Jack Hart. They seem to be working in tandem very well, and Westport need to tighten up their kickouts a small bit. They're turning over possession. They haven't won a kick out of their own in the last few moments, and as Kevin mentioned, their full back line is left isolated. There's often 3-on-2 or 4-on-3, and Balla keeping possession of the ball very, very well. And Shea Benson now looking for that diagonal ball across, trying to find Aaron Walsh again, this time slightly long, but he manages to gather it in the left corner forward position, takes a solo, sells the dummy, and with his left foot he tries to curl that, but it's over the bar. And Kevin, there has to be concern here that the Westport full back line in particular are being left isolated.
Yeah, they are being isolated. Balla applying a lot of pressure. They've had a quick return there of 1-3 in 4 minutes, whatever. So Westport, I think, just need to slow it down, get the composure back, and just try and get their hands on ball around the middle third.
Westport persevere with a short kick out this time. It works a lot better. Gets out to Luke O'Reen on the right corner back position, and Westport can try to get out of their own half for the first time in about 3 or 4 minutes in this opening half of the JJ Burke sponsored Minor A Championship final, live from Elvery's Michael Park with Mayo GA TV today. And that ball recovered well by Emmett Rowley, spills it but gets it at the second attempt, being hounded by the number 12 for Bal, Sean Tonra. And there's not much moving inside for him. He's trying to overcarry the ball, but he has a runner coming off his shoulder now, and he's into Pat Lambert, the captain, trying to show a bit of leadership, a bit of inspiration, but that goes to the left and wide. But starting to Westport at least trying to get forward, Kevin.
There, Tom, to sure, but I think whether it's nerves or whatever it is, they still haven't settled into this game. Ball seem to have settled in a bit more composed going forward, and obviously defended very well there. Pat Lambert unfortunately dropped the ball short there. It's unlike him with the calibre player he is, so I'd be expecting a lot better from him as the game progresses.
Niall Fadden going long, looking for Golding, but broken well by Westport, and they're on the attack with Mark Moran, the scorer of the goal in the first minute for Westport. Gets it inside to Luke Tunney. Tunney met by a wall of purple, but he's managed to get maroon, but he's inside again, and he's still going left-footed. Great save from Niall Fadden. Much improved score, but the referee, it's a 45, but it was a fantastic effort. He wriggled away from the Ball defenders there, and he got a great shot off.
He did. The referee was playing an advantage for a couple of seconds, but all of a sudden Mark Tunney, he just broke through, and Niall Fadden brought a fantastic save.
Much better from Westport, Kevin.
A lot better. It's great to see Luke taking on his man there. I think that's what we need. Lads to show that what they can do, and take their man on at every opportunity, and see where it gets them.
Westport up to go back on the 45 rather than to have a go, but it finds its way to Pat Lambert just inside the 45, and that's high, and that's going wide. So that's the second wide for Pat Lambert in the space of a couple of moments, but at least Westport are putting chances together, so it's a goal opportunity. Well saved by Niall Fadden, you'd have to say, pushing it around the post. 1-3 Ball, and no response from Westport since that early goal. For 7 minutes they haven't scored, and it's been all Ball from the scoring perspective. Fadden long, looking for Golding again, can't get it at the first attempt, but it breaks down, and number 24 Jack Hall is on. We didn't see who he came on for, but he's on the field at the moment. And Ball, as Patrick McLaughlin's done all year, driving them from the centre back position, and he's still going into the opposition 45, and he's dragged back by Alan McHale, so it'll be a free right in front of the post on the 45 for Ball. And Patrick McLaughlin was let run through the midfield, Kevin, there, and not challenged until they got inside to the Westport 45. Yeah,
Patrick McLaughlin started this game very well. Obviously he's a very strong leader for this Ball team. Attacks through the heart of the defence, which you want from some of your leaders. Great run through the middle there. Discipline was an issue there, I suppose, on Westport behalf, and another soft free for Ball, and hopefully see how this goes.
Shea Benson over the ball, and he can fairly hit a ball from there, Jerry.
Yes, Shea is a wonderful striker of a ball, and this time, unfortunately, it's
commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse. It looks like Coulon Higgins it seems to have gone off the Ball team, and the Jack Hall number 24 has come on for him. Oh, sorry.
Thomas Reynolds, possibly the number 2. Oh no, he's here. We'll get an eye on that change. We didn't see what happened, but we noticed 24 Jack Hall is on, so the game gets back underway, and Rian O'Connor trying to pick the ball up. He's fouled as he goes to get it, gives it up to Killian Golding, who comes across in front of the stand here at McHale Park, gives it to Niall Barrett. Barrett is allowed to build up. There's no pressure coming on the attacker at all, and Jack Hart gets away with from a high challenge. The referee plays the advantage, and Jack Hart, as he's done a couple of times today, cuts inside and uses his right foot to great effect. But again, no pressure from the Westport defence. Balla finding their scores rather easily.
Yeah, I suppose the difference between two teams at the moment is when we're attacking, we're actually making the scores count, while Westport have had a few chances and haven't taken them.
Westport short kick out again, trying to get something going, trying to get any kind of attack momentum built, and Pat Lambert, who, as we said, has had a couple of chances, is trying to lead them, but Balla into the corner here, engineering the score, and the referee is allowing play to continue. The player went down, and Luke Tunney tried to curl one in, or he was trying to find his opposite number in the far corner, David Golden, but that's 4 wides from 4 attacks. Kevin, you feel that at some point Westport are going to have to get a score on the board. They can't let it go any longer without them scoring, you feel? Yeah,
as Jerry touched on there, every time Balla attack, they're making a count, where on the other hand Westport aren't. And as you said there, Tom, we need to keep within touch and distance of Balla, otherwise this game could be well gone from Westport by half time.
Encouragement coming from the crowd here in the stand. For a 1 o'clock throw-in for this game, there's a nice crowd here, but ball goes over the head of Declan Shanahan. Golding tries to keep it in, tries not to let it go out, and he twists and turns and he gets away. He's being harried down by Declan Shanahan, but gets the ball, finds its way inside to Rian O'Connor. Rian O'Connor trying to find the runner, and the Balla are engineering well. They're getting away from the attack, and it's Sean Tonner again. Sean Tonner was dragged down, and the referee wants a word with Owen McLaughlin, I think it was, number 7. So we'll see what the referee chooses to do. But again, it's getting to the Westport defence are having all sorts of trouble with the Balla forwards, and unfortunately it looks like it could be we'll see what card the referee decides to give. In this instance, he's having a stern conversation with them, and Sean Tonner is okay. He's up on his haunches, having a drink of water. But Jerry, you feel that the Balla forwards are causing trouble for the Westport defence. A yellow card for Owen McLaughlin.
Yeah, every time we run at the Westport full back line at the moment, we seem to be getting rewards for it, and certainly that's the second or third pull down that's happened. So we are causing problems there in the full forward line.
There's a spare man at the back here for Balla. We're just looking to see if Westport have decided to deploy a sweeper to try and combat the runs that are coming through. Balla at the moment have Pat Lambert as the free man in their own half, so we'll have a look at it and see. There are out here in the midfield, Pat Lambert has 2 men for company. He has, and that score is wide from a fairly scoreable free, but misses. But he's trying to make up for it now. He's trying to chase down the short kick out, and working hard for his team all the way at the front is Aaron Walsh, and chasing down the ball. And Westport are trying to get out of their own left corner back position, and they seem to be finding it very, very difficult. The Balla forwards are ferociously pressing on their thing, and Pat Lambert finds himself back in the full back line trying to drive his team forward, and he's turned over well. A great tackle being chased down there by Jack Hart, turned over the ball in midfield, and Aaron Walsh is back out, but he's over carrying the ball, held up strongly there by John Geraghty, and Westport are starting to have to start to get something built and get some momentum going, Kevin.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. The likes of John there, a big physical presence, getting turnovers like that gives a great lift to the team. So hopefully we can get a few more of them. Balla applying serious pressure on our backs coming out of the fence, and Westport need to get up to the pitch this game like Balla, and if we have to be in any contention in this game.
Thomas Reynolds turned over the ball well there for Jack Hall, and Balla can come out of defence, playing the hand pass game, and they're running at every opportunity. Coulon Higgins this time in possession of the ball, gets his head up, look for an option, and he has that on the outside. The other cornerback, Conor Dunleavy, and receives the ball. Sean Tonner gives it out to Walsh, trying to get it up into his hand, being marshalled well by the yellow card at Owen McLaughlin, who has to be careful, you feel, at this early stage of the game, but well tackled, well marshalled, and the ball turned over well. And Lambert again back in his own full back line, trying to get his team playing the captain's role, trying to get them going. So the ball gets out into midfield. Evades the tackle of Mark Moran, the goal scorer in the first minute for Westport, but there's 2 men on one inside, and it's a free from where the ball was struck. There was a challenge laid on, but Kevin, great defending there, particularly from Owen McLaughlin, who's on a yellow card, and he had to be careful, and he turned over the ball well there off Aaron Walsh.
Yeah, it's a lot better from Owen. Thankfully he was unlucky there. He could have got a black card maybe earlier, but thankfully he got a yellow card. So look, that's what you want, playing on the edge, I suppose, but being in discipline at the same time.
Westport sloppy in possession again. The ball is won back by Balla, and Killian Golding, from an attacking opportunity from Westport's point of view, is gets Ball moving, and a ball on the turn finds Coulon Higgins. Fed quick inside to Jack Hart, who has been a thorn in Westport's side. He has 3 players around him, and he draws the free, and you have to say that Ball's instinct is to get the ball quickly into the full forward line and get the Westport defenders turned.
Absolutely, and something I'd say from a Ball point of view at the moment, to see Pat Lambert in a defensive role,